All right, call to order, Whatcom Transportation Authority Board of Directors meeting for Thursday, August 1st, 2024. Can we start with roll call?
Yes. Donovan.
Here.
Hawkinson.
Here.
Cortez.
Here.
Roundabout.
Here.
Lilyquist.
Here.
Do we have executive Sadu? If Sadu is absent, Mayor Lunch is absent. Stewart.
Present.
Williams.
Here.
And Darwin.
Present.
Thank you. All right, citizen communications. Is there anyone online or in person that would like to speak to the board? If you're online, please unmute. Doesn't look like it. All right. Item D, moving right along. D1, Transit Development Plan presentation. Tim?
Okay, yeah, so this is our annual presentation development of the 2024-2029 Transit Development Plan. You've received a copy of the plan in your packet. So I'll give a short presentation and then we'll move on to comments. We did receive one comment last minute yesterday, so I think that was distributed.
Yeah, and it's a hard copy.
Okay. So this is an annual report that's required by state statute. All transit agencies have to comply. There are a variety of elements that are required, some required elements, some optional elements. It does outline requirements around what service you're planning, capital and financial documents. One of the purposes is to really to establish some coordination with the state and with local entities, as well as establishing some clarity around what your future plans are for transit service. In our particular document, we have background on agency, so if it's a good useful tool if you're trying to find out just basic information about WTA. We do reflect also back on our 2023 accomplishments. I also mentioned that at the next meeting, we're actually going to have a service performance report. So you'll have more detail about how we're doing in terms of our performance around service. So stay tuned for that. It also talks about new for this year. We have a new section on alignment with state goals, and we have a report out on WTA 2040, which is our long-range transit plan. So we have a report out on various activities that were outlined in the plan, so you could read that. So we're hoping to have that, use this as a tool to report out on how we're doing annually around our activities. Also, we have, I mentioned the performance metrics. We have our new service guidelines that are contained within the plan. Those are on pages 24 through 34. We have the regular elements of the plan, capital expenses, and any service changes. Those align with our capital improvement plan, with our past budgets, and they're consistent with WTA 2040 as well. And then finally, there's the financial plan, and we report out on our initiatives related to Move Ahead Washington. And that's on pages 41 through 42. One of the issues we've encountered with this report is it's sort of out of sync with our budget process. And so the state requires it to be submitted on September 1st. We haven't obviously completed our budget process. And so there's a bit of guesswork and a bit of assumptions around what we're going to be doing in the future prior to that budget being approved. So we hope to talk more about this next year with the next report, but there is that state requirement to report out. So that will always be a bit of an issue for us as we're trying to decide what we're doing for the next year. Then I guess the last thing, we accept any public comment and board questions. We also would welcome if the board would like to approve the plan, given any public comment today versus waiting until October 15th or August 15th. So welcome that if that's a desire of the board members.
Just follow up. The financial plan isn't binding, so it's the budget that actually controls. But as Tim said, nevertheless, it's got to be in by September 1st.
All right, to open the public hearing on the TDP 2024 to 2029 there any citizens present that would like to address the board? Please unmute. You have 3 minutes. Seeing no one in person, we'll close the public hearing and move on to board discussion. That was it. All right, any questions, comments from the board?
If there are no objections, I would say we just go ahead and approve the TDP this meeting. I so move.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the TDP. So Tim, can you stop thinking about it for a minute?
Appreciate that.
Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Tim. Thank you.
I could just thank Tim and it's the planning team that put as that public comment was up. I think they used the word thoughtful, and real compliments to them to pulling this together. It's I know Tim's been thinking a lot about how to make this a meaningful document in our planning process, despite the timing issues with it. But nevertheless, it's each year it gets more and more useful and thoughtful. And so just wanted to acknowledge that.
If I could also add, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Amber Curry for extensive work to pull together the documents. She's the primary person for pulling together a lot of information. So thank you, Amber, for all of this.
Read very well.
All right, up next, we have executive session. Starting at 8:07, the board will now meet in executive session to consider site selection for the potential acquisition of real estate as allowed by RCW 42.30.110(1)B. The board will be in executive session for approximately 10 minutes until 8:17. The board is not expected to take further action on this matter following the executive session. So, if you're not supposed to be here, this is the time to exit. All right, call the regular meeting back to order. Item F1, consideration of setting a public hearing on August 15th, 2024 regarding the provision of an interim waterfront district service. What?
Time down on the executive session. Yeah, okay. Yes, so what this is just a request to set a public hearing for the 15th, but background on it is we had a team looking at, as part of service changes, doing a waterfront service that would start next to Bellingham waterfront. So looping from downtown down the waterfront and returning. As part of that look, the team identified that Mercy Housing is already having people move in. There's, I think, 83 units there, plus childcare, plus early learning. And so there's a lot of activity on that property. And part of the thought on going downtown or from downtown to the waterfront is trying to connect downtown and the waterfront from an economic development standpoint, in addition to a connectivity transportation standpoint. And so the team said, boy, if we could start sooner, that would be even better, and do a kind of temporary interim service starting sooner that would last from sometime this fall, maybe September to June of next year, when if the board were to approve the full service, this would go away and it would wrap into the fuller service. Idea on this is trying to hopefully help people form transportation behaviors before they form it with transit, as opposed to they form a transportation behavior and then we come in later and ask them to break that and reform to something else. So trying to get out ahead of that, and then also from the economic development standpoint, and then also this would catch the Opportunity Council on Cornwall, where they have services and things to provide better service for that as well. So the intent of the public hearing would be to authorize a interim service That would be, because we are starting quick, that would be taken really from Hyde. So out of a 35 bus we have, out of extra board, there'd be some overtime costs, but we'll bring those to the board for consideration as part of the public hearing as we're working through that. So I'll pause there. See if
don't
anyone
have
has
anything. I'll move we set the public hearing.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Questions, comments, discussion? See none. All those in favor of setting not executive session, public hearing. My brain is gone. All right, all those in favor of setting a public hearing on August 15th regarding the provision of an interim waterfront district service, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. F2, consideration of approval of contract for Cintas laundry service.
Yeah, some exciting stuff here. So asking for approval for the GM to enter into a contract with Cintas. I apologize after reading through this right now. The numbers aren't spelled out very well, but this is a 4-year contract, $50,000 per year at $200,000 total. And this is just for our laundry services through Cintas.
Move approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any board discussion or questions? All those in favor of approving the contract with Cintas Laundry Service, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, that passes unanimously. All right, item G, board reports.
Thank you. Vicki wanted me to point out that this is maybe the smallest packet she's ever put together.
Yeah, I was thinking that this morning.
This is a record-setting meeting. Congratulations, and theme of Olympic.
Let's call Guinness right now.
Yes, yeah.
Actually, we had 45 pages, so yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna say, if you count the TDP, it was pretty long.
We're gonna continue to just break things apart so we can go after the record. One thing, just wanted to loop back, as we had last month, that first policy discussion meeting. Wondering if that hit the mark for you, as we're trying to learn lessons going into the next ones that we'll do each quarter. So just wanted to see if there's any lessons learned on that. You can also give me a shout or something. We can talk offline too, but just wanted to see if it hit the mark.
Did for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would like more discussion.
Okay, good. Thank you. To that end, was looking at I think it's October 17th for the next one, if that sounds okay. We'll start managing the agenda to keep that open for that one. Okay, great, wonderful. Let's see. One thing wanted to just remind John, we have a heat operations plan that when it goes over 80 is measured at the airport. We go into a tier 1, and then if it's over 90, tier 2, which comes with different kinds of breaks, and then over 100, it's different on that. We try to launch all our all our air-conditioned buses when you hit over 80 to do that. As you may recall, you kindly authorized us to retrofit some of our older buses with air conditioning, so we would have a launch group with air conditioning. Sometimes, depending on maintenance, it may not always work, but we do try. I think we have, Sandy, 39 buses.
Don't hold me to that number. I don't know.
Okay, so we have a good portion of our fleet with air conditioning, and all new buses come with air conditioning. So, and want to thank Jeff and Eric and Sandy Cortez, who have done great work on doing that, and how we coordinate across those efforts. Then what you have as a handout going away is the mission statement. That is not a changed mission statement, so it's still the same as the one up on the wall. But that one has pictures of people that have no longer work here and things of that nature. So this is just a refresh with one of our transit operators, Elmer. But nothing has changed on it otherwise. Then the week of the 12th is the State Transportation Conference that WashDOT and Washington State Transportation Association pulled together. So we'll have some folks at that. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to turn it over to Genevieve to continue the updates on events that are coming up. So Genevieve, over to you.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. We've had a lot of really fun events this summer, and we have a bunch more coming up for August that we're very excited about. Starting with this weekend, we're bringing back the Kids Art Contest, the much awaited Kids Art Contest. We will have 2 blank hybrid buses that need fun kids art on them. And so we've decided to hold the Kids Art Contest in 2 places on Saturday. We'll be doing it at Bellingham Kids Fest at Civic Field from 11 to 3, and then at the Ferndale Block Party from noon to 3:30. So kids both in Ferndale and in Bellingham will be able to submit drawings on board a bus, and then we'll put together a little judging committee and pick probably about 50 pieces to be displayed across 2 buses. This weekend, we're also doing some supplemental service for, let me pull it up so I can call it the right thing. Okay, it is for the Birch Bay Sand Sculpture Competition and Rollback Weekend Car Show and Blaine Drayton Harbor Days this weekend. So we'll be running hourly shuttles between those 2 event sites. So folks don't have to worry about trying to find parking. They can just catch the bus in Blaine and it'll take them to the events. We've added a couple of extra stops and some extra trips to help with that. And so that's the first time that we've done this sort of extra service up in Blaine to help with an event. And we're really excited to see how it goes and to see how the ridership is for that. Then starting or next Wednesday, we've got Senior Days in the park at Ferndale Hovander Park. And that's an all-day event. That's a really great opportunity for us to connect with seniors and share our services. We'll be doing shuttles from senior centers to the event. And we just ordered a bunch of really exciting new swag that we're going to be giving away. So if you want to check out what we've got, come by the park. And then August 8th through the 17th is Free Fair Days. So WTA will be fare free for the duration of the Northwest Washington Fair to encourage folks to maybe avoid the fuel and the hassle of paying for parking up in Linden by catching the bus. And then also it's a really good opportunity if you know of anybody who is wanting to try riding the bus. It's great. Our operators are always happy to help someone find their destination. So we always recommend that folks give it a try during Free Fair Days. And that's about it. And then after that, we'll start rolling into some back to school student education events. And then it'll be summer again before we know it. Thank you. Does anyone have any
Thanks,
questions?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So pending any questions, that's my report.
Did you want to mention Camp Casey? this last
Oh,
week?
yeah, that's good. I sent y'all the email last night, you may not have seen, but some pictures from Camp Casey, which is I think it's Kiwanis sponsored event, where it takes kids, most of them, I think, with wheelchairs. Yesterday, they went out to I can't remember the go-kart place, Station 49, out to that to enjoy the day with that. So there's some pictures in your inbox on that. There's also an email on that Shelley, who led the effort, did an amazing job. But also she thanks the people who did a lot of work on that. There was a lot of team effort on that. So it's a great thing. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate your point. Okay, so now pending questions. That's the end.
Any questions? Not seeing any. All right, item H, other business, anybody?
I just want to thank WTA. This is the third year that I've been working with Shelley to do transportation for different senior centers to the Senior Day in the Park next Wednesday. And it's grown. I think the first year we started with just Blaine, Linden, and Bellingham. We've now incorporated Everson and Sac-Sumas, the East Whatcom Regional Resource Center, and everyone is just thrilled that they're able to catch a bus where they're at, get shuttled to the event, walk around for 3 or 4 hours, and then get shuttled back home. And it's made a huge impact on those people that are able to access that service, and just a great testament to what the WTA is all about. And Shelley has been amazing to work with. She is just very accommodating and easy to work with, and it's just been a pleasure coordinating this or helping get this moving for the past couple of years. So thank you so much. Also, my son is a counselor at Lions Club Horizon this summer, and WTA has also worked with that organization to do some busing for them. They work with young adults and adults with mental and physical disabilities. And it's been just a great service there as well. So just thank you for the work you do in the community. It's definitely over and above anything else. So
Purpose is connecting people to opportunities. So thank you. And Shelley's online, so she got to hear.
All right, thank you. Any other business announcements? We are adjourned.